General Psychology, Week 14 Agenda. In this slideshow, I'm going to go over the assignments for this week. I'll briefly talk about psychological disorders, and then I want to clarify a few things. Okay, so week 14, you have a chance to earn 30 points this week. The first way to earn points is by participating in the class discussion. You'll see a link on the discussion board for CP9, and you can earn up to 5 points for making both an initial post and then responding to 2 classmates. Now, both your initial post and your response to 2 peers should be substantive. What I mean by a substantive post is that you're going to add details and explanations, and you're aiming for a teachable moment. You also want to proofread, and you want to sign your post. When you respond to your classmates, address them by name and go beyond "good job" or "I like what you had to say" or "I agree with you." Add more than that. Give us something to work with here. All right, so that's 5 points. The next way to earn points this week is by completing quiz 4. This is our last quiz. The topic is personality. You're going to have a combination of multiple choice questions and short answer questions, and your job is just to show me that you understand what personality is all about. Personality through the lens of a psychologist. All right, so after you earn your 30 points, there's a couple of other slides here. One, I'm going to talk a little bit about psychological disorders because that's our topic for this week, and this is chapter 14 in your textbook. And then I want to make a few comments about, general housekeeping stuff. In chapter 14, you get to explore psychological disorders. For a lot of students, this is the most interesting part of the class. A lot of people associate psychology with mental illness and mental health, but there's so much to explore in talking about psychological disorders. Keep in mind, our discussion is very rudimentary, very basic. I want to share a few myths with you. Abnormal behavior is always bizarre. Normal and abnormal behavior are different in kind. And once people have a mental disorder, they will always have it. Here's the facts. The behavior of many people who are diagnosed as having a mental disorder often cannot be distinguished from that of normal people. So, normal is relative. Here's another fact. Few, if any, types of behavior displayed by people with a mental disorder are unique to them. Abnormal behavior consists of a poor fit between the behavior and the situation in which it is enacted. One more fact. Most people can be successfully treated for a mental disorder. So when you're learning about the basic concepts of psychological disorders, I highlighted a few things that I really want you to be aware of. One is the difference between the medical model and the biopsychosocial model. The medical model focuses on understanding psychological disorders in terms of mental illness. Okay, this medical model aligns with psychiatry. The biopsychosocial model, on the other hand, is a way of understanding people that says we have to consider at least 3 different domains, 3 different aspects of what makes a person who they are, if we really want to influence them. So, as you can see from the name, there's the biological component, the psychological component, and the social component. So, the biological component includes everything that's physical. So, this would be like diet. It could be sleeping patterns. It could be exercise routine. And it also includes genetics. For psychological, we're talking about the thoughts that are in someone's head, right? Their subjective experience, what they feel and what they think. And this is heavily influenced by their childhood as well as their interaction with the world they live in. Finally, the social part. The social has to do with the person's connection to other people. So the biopsychosocial model says if we want to influence someone who has a psychological disorder, or we want to understand this person, we need to consider the influences of biology, psychology, and sociology. Now, with the DSM-5, this is a diagnostic system that is similar to like the Bible of mental health. And DSM is a system that allows medical doctors, psychiatrists, and psychologists to all be on the same page in terms of diagnosing and treating psychological disorders. When it comes to suicide, this is a pretty big deal because it's a problem that has been around for quite some time, and unfortunately the rate of suicide fluctuates in it and has risen quite sharply. So please read in your textbook to find out more about psychological disorders. How much do you know about anxiety and depressive disorders? What assumptions and biases do you have? Why is learning about mental health a worthwhile endeavor? Anxiety disorders and depressive disorders combined make up the majority of the diagnoses that exist. So I would really encourage you to read about anxiety disorders and obsessive compulsive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, and also read about bipolar and major depressive disorder in Chapter 14. The final section in Chapter 14 focuses on schizophrenia and other disorders. Schizophrenia is sometimes referred to as the cancer of mental illness because people who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia are suffering from a thought disorder. Okay, so it's as if their reality and their fantasy worlds are merged. There's a split that they can't tell what's real and what's fantasy. Now, there's different types of schizophrenia, and when we say other disorders, there's so many other disorders that are interesting and worth studying. But for our class, I'm going to encourage you to, to read the chapter and watch the videos that I posted. To be clear, no assignments will be accepted after December 7th. This week, you can earn up to 30 points. 1, by participating on the discussion board. 2, by completing quiz 4. We have a Thanksgiving break starting on the 25th of November and ending on the 29th of November, so the college will be closed. I will be available during office hours on Monday and Tuesday, so the 23rd and the 24th, but then I'll be, on break like you guys. When we come back from Thanksgiving, week 15 stretches from November 30th through December 6th, and you'll have 2 assignments. So that's an opportunity to earn 20 points. You'll complete a reflection activity and achieve 10. During this week, the week of November 30th through December 6th, I will also make the Makeup Test 1 available as well as the cumulative quiz. So Makeup Test 1 is if you miss Test 1, you have an opportunity to take a makeup, and your score that you earn on this makeup will replace the 0 that's currently in the grade book. If you did poorly on test 1 and you want to take the makeup, that's also an option. I average your first and second score, and that would be hopefully to your benefit. In the event that you do worse the second time, then I just pretend it's as if you didn't take it and go with your first score. If you want to know the chapters for test 1, please go back to the weekly modules where I discussed that information because it's exactly the same information. Now for the cumulative quiz, this is for anyone who missed one quiz in our class. If you missed a quiz or you did poorly on the quiz, you can take this cumulative quiz and I will sub it in for your lowest quiz score or the missed quiz, whichever is, however it fits, however it advantages you. All right, the last week is only one day, and that's December 7th, and you'll have the final exam. It's only multiple choice questions, and it's worth 50 points. Both the test 1 makeup and the test 2 are administered via honor lock. So it's to your advantage to clear up any confusion you have with honor lock now, prior to, coming up to the actual test day. Real talk. I've included some information on this slide that you can read. I want to remind everybody that we're in this together. We only have 3 weeks left. Let's finish up strong. There's still lots of information to learn, still time to connect with your peers, still time to earn a good grade in this class.